White-tailed deer season is also winding down, so we head out for what remains of archery season, and it's getting pretty primitive.
Today we're just going to be hunting right along this little field edge. There was soybeans planted here this year. Everything's all tilled up and everything's pretty brown, so we're kind of hoping they're going to congregate right there where we're going to be set up.
We're hunting for late season whitetails with Mary Beth Kalinich, and she's always been the type of hunter drawn toward the more primitive weapons. But for the last few seasons, she's practically gone prehistoric.
I started hunting with a friend of mine, and all he ever used was a traditional bow. And watching him shoot and thinking back to when my dad used to shoot traditional, it just drew me to it. And as soon as I picked one up and I started shooting it, it just clicked. It was a connection unlike any other. I mean, it's just so simple.
The weapon itself is simple, but when it comes to taking down game, it can be anything but easy.
So I really enjoyed the fact that I had to have these deer so much closer with this bow as well. I can only shoot, 20 yards and under, so definitely limit myself, and there's been a few moments where I wished I had a little more range, but I don't regret making this switch over to a more simple weapon. With this, I don't aim, actually. I just shoot instinctual. It's almost just like throwing a baseball. And with the compound, you have to aim. So I found myself switching back and forth. I was trying to aim with this, and then I was just shooting instinctual with the compound, and it did not work out well.
Another difference in the use of a recurve and compound bow are the arrows.
And I'm not pulling back, nearly as much weight as what a compound would get. So with these, you really want a very heavy front end. So I'm using 200 grain broadheads, and then I have weighted inserts in the front. So you really want your arrow to be very front heavy, and that helps you to get the penetration with this that you're lacking from the bow itself. You get with the weight of the arrow.
But so far on this hunt, no deer have been spotted, let alone venturing within 20 yards of Mary Beth's broadheads. There is no shortage of squirrels, however. A previous sit earlier in the season was a different story for Mary Beth, as a nice doe did wander within range. As you can see, it's all instinctual when using the recurve. But back to our current hunt, where it appears we are losing the inevitable battle with sunset.
Well, I almost let one fly, but it was only at one of those fat squirrels that was running around us all night. The deer did not cooperate.
And with only a handful of deer hunting days left, Mary Beth's not hanging up the bow just yet.
I'll hunt hard right up until the end, and this year Maryland's brought in a brand new season, a traditional season. So I'll be out there right up until the very last second, chasing them as hard as I can.
But hunting isn't always about what you take out of the woods. It's about what you leave behind.
It was still a beautiful night. And in a world that's so filled with chaos and so much just hatred and wildness, it's so nice to just be able to take such a simple weapon into the woods and sit in a nice peaceful woods and just enjoy the afternoon. So that's exactly what we did.